Yesterday, a blockbuster fixture occurred at Old Trafford as Manchester United hosted Chelsea at Old Trafford. This game ended with a 2-1 win for Manchester United, though the XG showcased that Manchester United should have won this game with more than 4 goals. So, Mauricio Pochettino faced Erik ten Hag for the third time in his managerial career. Erik ten Hag was going through a troubling start at Manchester United, but this win will really change the mood at the club. So we move directly to look at how both teams line up. We start with the home side, Manchester United, and Manchester United lined up in their usual 4-2-3-1 system. This time, Amrabat came in midfield and played alongside Scott McTominay, with Lindelof and Harry Maguire making the two centre-back pairing, with Dalot and Luke Shaw playing in the wide areas. Garnacho retained his position with Anthony playing on the right, with Bruno playing in behind Højlund, who made a return. The visitors Chelsea also lined up in a 4-2-3-1 system, with Marc Cucurella coming in for Badiashile, who played as 4 centre-backs against Brighton. Cole Palmer came in for the suspended Conor Gallagher, and Mudryk and Raheem Sterling played down the wide areas, with Nicholas Jackson leading the line. So before we start our analysis, I want to remind you again to kindly subscribe to our second channel. The link is in the description area. In this channel, we'll be doing more in-depth tactical analysis on teams that are not Chelsea, such as Brighton, the project at Newcastle, Aston Villa, Manchester City, Manchester United, Liverpool, and other teams across Europe. Do not forget to subscribe. And before we start our analysis, also subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. So let's start our analysis with analyzing Chelsea, since Chelsea had majority of possession, and actually a lot of instances in this game happened when Chelsea had possession, and we're going to see how. So in our tactical board, we have how Chelsea tried to build up by dropping 2 of their centre-backs alongside Robert Sanchez, with their full-backs starting wide. So Manchester United were quite impressive with how they pressed throughout the game. Very, very impressive. So they pressed Chelsea in a 4-2-3-1 system, with their wingers going wide and McTominay pushing from midfield so that Manchester United could press in a 4-1-4-1 system. Højlund, in this clip you can see very well, is preventing the ball to go to Thiago Silva, because Thiago Silva is competent on the ball and is forcing the ball to be played to Disasi. Here again you can see Chelsea in their first phases of possession, and you can see that narrow 4-2-3-1 system, Højlund pressing the 2 centre-backs, while the 2 wingers covering Chelsea's full-backs, and Bruno tying up both Moises Caicedo and McTominay on Enzo Fernandez. Palmer has been picked by Amrabat, and Chelsea cannot progress further. So Chelsea attempt to play the ball to Enzo Fernandez, and you can see immediately McTominay is applying pressure on him. So McTominay tries to play this Hollywood pass towards Marc Cucurella, but here again you can see that Garnacho is keen to win the ball. So Manchester United were quite impressive with how they pressed Chelsea, forcing the ball to be played on one centre-back and employing an aggressive midfield press. So all the midfield options and the wide options for Chelsea were tied up, as Manchester United's back 4 tracked Chelsea's front 3, enabling Manchester United to be quite great in their out of possession phase. You can see here Colwill has received the ball, and immediately Anthony is putting him under pressure, and Højlund is covering the back pass to Thiago Silva. Højlund needs to be credited a lot. In this game, he really worked well. His main aim was to cut one side of play and forcing the play down the right-hand side. Since Cucurella was playing out of position, Garnacho was so quick to spring out and press him, and this will see him play the ball back or attempt a ball forward, where Luke Shaw would easily win the ball off Raheem Sterling, and this will now trigger Manchester United to enter into that transition phase that Erik ten Hag likes, and that is when Manchester United are transiting and catching out teams out of possession. And this thing happened time and time again for Chelsea. Credit goes to Manchester United's fullbacks who held on to Chelsea's wingers touch tight and Chelsea could not move an inch. Now, in more settled progressive phases of play, Manchester United maintained their narrow 4-1-4-1 press, with Højlund's main aim cutting the pass to Thiago Silva and forcing the ball to be played to Disasi, where Bruno Fernandes would advance to press Disasi while using his cover shadow to cover Caicedo. And if Chelsea decided to go long, Lindelof and Maguire time and time again won the ball off Nicholas Jackson, and Chelsea's really struggled. We know Cole Palmer likes to drop deep to receive the ball directly from the keeper, but Amrabat was also quite strong in following Cole Palmer deep and winning the ball off him. This 3v3 matchup in midfield really created a lot of problems for Chelsea, and the position of Manchester United's forwards close to each other enabled them to have these transition phases. In the first 30 minutes, Manchester United should have been 4-0 up. Here you can see Chelsea attempting to build up. Caicedo has dropped into the backline. Bruno Fernandes has now pushed on to Caicedo. And you can see Højlund is covering the space in midfield. Here again, you can see Caicedo has time on the ball. And you can immediately see that the ball is being played to Sterling. But Sterling is being tracked by Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw wins the ball off Raheem Sterling, and now Manchester United are in that transition phase, with Bruno Fernandes having options on either side to either play Antony or Garnacho, but Manchester United became wasteful in this opportunity. Here again you can see the ball has been played to Cole Palmer, but you can see how Amrabat is so quick to spring out onto Cole Palmer. Amrabat wins the ball off Cole Palmer, and now Manchester United have close to 4 players running at 3 Chelsea defenders. And I'm saying time and time again that Manchester United should have been 4-0 up by 30 minutes because Chelsea lost possession in very dangerous areas on the pitch. Antony receives this ball here, and rather than nutmegging Thiago Silva and being through on goal, he attempts a shot and Sanchez scores this goal. Here again, you can see Manchester United have won the ball in transition phases through their midfield pressing traps, and now immediately they're engaging to go and score against Chelsea. So in some instances, Chelsea managed to bypass the first line of pressure, or it was mainly Manchester United deciding to sit in a mid-block, especially after they went 1-0 up. So this is how Chelsea were playing in the progressive phases of play. Højlund was very important in forcing Chelsea to play down the right. And since Cucurella was playing out of position, his only pass will be played towards Raheem Sterling, where Luke Shaw will effectively switch and win the ball off Raheem Sterling. And the role of Amrabat was key since he tracked Cole Palmer in whatever position he played. Luke Shaw would win the ball off Raheem Sterling, and now Garnacho, together with Antony and Bruno Fernandes and the pace of Højlund, would be making runs in Chelsea's backline. So, in some instances, we also started to see now Chelsea being forced to play the pass backwards. But Manchester United were quite proactive in their press, and they will press the ball, especially Disasi, who looked clueless on the ball, who will now play the ball back to Robert Sanchez. This again now will push Manchester United forward. Sanchez will attempt these passes in midfield, where Manchester United's midfielders in McTominay would win the ball off Chelsea's midfield. So what we started to see now is Manchester United allowing Disasi to receive the ball and attempt these passes in Sterling, who was dropping deep. But again, we saw the effectiveness of Luke Shaw. Since now Manchester United had an extra player in the backline, their fullbacks will be allowed to drop deep to come and try to cover the Chelsea wingers. And here Manchester United will win the ball and immediately engage in quick transitions. Here you can see the ball is being played to Disasi. Disasi has time and space on the ball. Cole Palmer has decided to drop deep to receive the ball, but you can see that Amrabat is having an eye on him. So, Chelsea were also quite wasteful in the attacking third. Colwill is not a left back, and therefore even when progressing high up the pitch could not make any use in the attacking threat down the flanks, and this made Chelsea attack less down the left hand side. Also, another problem with Chelsea, they were just passing the ball sideways and backwards, and Cucurella not overlapping Palmer down the right. This made it easy for Luke Shaw to defend down the left. So let's see what Manchester United did. In my opinion, Manchester United played well, but I don't think they were so great. I can just say that Chelsea was so poor. But there are some key tactics that Manchester United employed. In my preview, I explained how Manchester United like to build up, and this is aided by Onana acting as the third centre-back, while one centre-back started deep, and this was Harry Maguire playing as the pivot. So Onana in this position with wide defenders playing alongside him, we saw Chelsea employing Mudryk and Raheem Sterling to move to press both Luke Shaw and Diego Dalot. Now, the main problem is that Manchester United overloaded Chelsea's midfield. And in this case, you could see that the composure that Onana has compared to what Sanchez has is the great asset that enabled Manchester United to constantly build through Chelsea's pressure. Onana here has time and space on the ball. Jackson is lethargic in pressing him. Maguire is free. And Chelsea don't know how to move on to press him. So Mudryk is very slow to come and cover. The ball is played to Lindelof, and now you can see Manchester United have numerical advantages. Caicedo and Enzo have been picked up by both McTominay and Bruno Fernandes. So Manchester United's main key strategy in build-up is to have these 2v1s in the wide areas against opposition's fullbacks. The passing range of Onana enables them to play these balls, especially to aerially dominant midfielders like Scott McTominay, who can receive the ball and lay it to Antony. So what did Manchester United do when they were in settled possession? We need to understand what Manchester United did in settled possession. So in settled possession, we know Manchester United like to build with a 2-3-5 with one single pivot, wide centre backs on either side of the pivot, and an attacking five-man attack. And I had explained this in my predicted my preview that this is how Manchester United build. So Højlund will be drifting in between Cucurella and Disasi, while Scott McTominay will be playing between Thiago Silva and Colwill. This would create spaces for Garnacho to receive the ball. And when Garnacho will receive the ball, Manchester United will aim to create this right side overload. This right side overload was to draw Chelsea's backline and midfielders towards the right, where Manchester United could employ quick shifts of play. You can see here we have the position of Luke Shaw, Garnacho, Bruno Fernandes, and Højlund also dropping towards that side, creating a four-man against Sterling and Marc Cucurella. This is the reason why Chelsea were really struggling in the first half down the right-hand side, since Cucurella would be pushed out of position. Bruno Fernandes will escape his marker in Caicedo, and Amrabat will receive the ball and immediately shift the play to Antony, who had time and acres of space in the right wing. McTominay would play this underlapping run there and try to attempt those runs in the half spaces. You can see here, Antony is receiving the ball. Colwill is in a 2v1 situations, and Colwill wins the aerial duel, but if he failed to win the duel, then Antony would have just played the ball. So Antony fails to square the ball to Rasmus Højlund and attempts a shot on goal, which Sanchez saved. And this is the reason why Manchester United should have really killed this game in the first half. Here, you can see how Colwill is reluctantly, he did not move fast to close in Antony, and now Antony has time to link up with McTominay and attack Chelsea's left-hand side. So in some instances, Dalot will be the one making this underlapping run as he made runs from defense to attack. The main strength of Dalot in this position is that he would play these cutbacks, and Bruno Fernandes had chances outside the 18-yard space to just shoot on goal, but he shot the ball out of target, and Manchester United failed to capitalize on that opportunity. We started to see Cole Palmer now pushing forward to try and press, and this is when we saw Amrabat dropping deep to form a back three, with Luke Shaw and Dalot all moving high up the pitch. So you can see here, look at the position of Amrabat. Amrabat has seen that Palmer and Jackson are pressing both Maguire and Lindelof, and Amrabat has decided to drop in between the two centre backs. Now Manchester United have numerical advantages in midfield, and now Luke Shaw, Bruno Fernandes and Garnacho are forming that diamond down the right hand flank against Chelsea. And now Lindelof can receive the ball, especially Maguire. Maguire will receive the ball in time and space, and you know Maguire likes to carry the ball forward. So Maguire will carry the ball forward, draw in a midfielder from Chelsea, and then create these overloads by playing a ball either to Anthony or Scott McTominay. And this now will give Manchester United a great strength, since Manchester United now will have the numerical advantage that they had in the middle part of the pitch. And the link-up play between Højlund, who would flick on the balls to Garnacho, and Garnacho would attempt shots. We saw this in the first half, but Højlund failed to have an easy tap-in. Now, also another thing to understand is that when Chelsea decided just to press with one man, Jackson was not quite effective, and in some instances, Manchester United even inverted both their fullbacks in midfield in Diego Dalot and Luke Shaw, creating as many as 5 players in midfield, destroying Chelsea's midfield overload. Here from the clip, you can see the position of Luke Shaw, Diego Dalot and Amrabat forming that trio in midfield, and now Chelsea are looking to chase shadows in midfield. Here Manchester United would receive the ball and easily play through Chelsea's midfield, and this saw Moises Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez had a very terrible game, since Manchester United would easily play through Chelsea, and this occurred around the 60th minute in the second half. So let me have my talking points on how I believe Chelsea were. First of all, the pivots of Enzo Fernandez and Moises Caicedo were so poor, especially during the build-up time. Disasi playing was very horrible. Disasi is not comfortable on the ball. He's sloppy while tracking runners, and I believe Badiashile would have been better. Colwill is not a left back. Honestly speaking, Colwill is not a left back. He doesn't play well there. He's so sloppy, and he was sloppy for the second goal. Playing Cucurella at right back is also not good. Chelsea lacked an outlet down the right, and we saw the difference when Reece James came in. Robert Sanchez made some good saves, but his kicking was very poor. He put Chelsea under a lot of pressure, but I understand Disasi was putting him in that pressure. Mikhailo Mudryk, poor. Other than the assist, he was not great at all in his finishing. He did nothing down the left-hand flank. Nicholas Jackson, I don't know what to say. The guy just keeps on missing chances. He missed an easy tap-in. He missed an easy free header in the far post. There's nothing more I can say about him. On the other hand, Manchester United were quite impressive. Scott McTominay managed to score a brace that ensured the team secured the win. I don't believe Manchester United were that great. It's just because Chelsea was so poor, but they really turned up, especially in midfield with Amrabat. So the noise that was around Old Trafford regarding to how Erik ten Hag has lost the dressing room, regarding to how Manchester United are not backing their manager, will be silenced with this win they just had at Old Trafford. And Manchester United continue their excellent record against Chelsea, with Chelsea winning last at Old Trafford back in 2013. Erik ten Hag will be delighted with the performance that his team showcased, and he will be very pleased with how his team came together amidst this propaganda war created by journalists and managed to have a convincing win and a resounding performance. Mauricio Pochettino, on the other hand, will have a lot of questions on his team, with a lot of fans questioning his ability to manage this team and a lot of pressure coming in for Chelsea, who have just won 5 games out of 15 after spending £1 billion. It's quite a problem at Chelsea. So the situation at Chelsea continues to get worse as fans have started to lose hope in this project thing that Todd Boehly had started to create. So now the onus is on Chelsea whether they will improve or whether they will just continue to have inconsistent performances. So before I even leave this analysis, if you want to understand, Chelsea have really had a problem defending set pieces. So if you want to really understand why Chelsea have this problem, click the next video and understand why Chelsea have these defensive issues all of a sudden. Thanks very much for watching this video.